place, and we don't know how it actually looks like. So
it looks like I'm wandering around the countryside of Germany.
Yeah, so we're going to go inside and see.
It might not be true if someone says drinking alcohol is not part of Chinese culture, though it seems most Chinese do not drink the way Westerners do. You might have heard the strong liquor baijiu as a must-try when you're in China, though you probably will regret it after trying. Long overshadowed by baijiu, wine actually has a long history in China. In 1995, a joint Sino-USA archaeology team discovered the remains of alcoholic beverage including grape wine. Several ceramic pots were specifically used for grape wine. That indicates Chinese may have used wine 4,000 years ago. Before this discovery, lots of people believe wine production might start after grape seeds were brought back to China from now Uzbekistan around 120 BC through Silk Road. We don't really know when is the earliest wine being produced in China in ancient history, but we do find where is the start of China's modern wine industry. We're going to show you the birthplace of the industrial wine in China. I bet you never imagined there is actually wine selling in China and wine making in 1892. When you are in China, you might have a new definition of big. Big buildings, big airports, big cities in this very big country. What you're looking at is the biggest oak barrels in Asia at early 20th century, or barrakin in Asia. Looks like they're getting married, but there are 3 of them. Each of them contain 15 tons of wine, and they have produced wine for almost a century. They are still in use today, together with other thousands of barrels in this cellar, which is called the Grand Cellar. The Grand Cellar was first built in 1894, 2 years after merchant Zhang Bishi founded Changyu Winery in Yantai. Due to the war, Zhang Bishi migrated to Southeast Asia like lots of other coastal Chinese families to seek their fortune. He finally became one of the richest person in Southeast Asia and was appointed as Chinese consul.
It's quite an interesting story, the origin of this winemakers. So there's a Chinese immigrant in Indonesia who met the French ambassador down there. The French ambassador taught him the secrets of winemaking. Then he took his money, came back to China, specifically to Yantai, to start the first winemaker in China, and it went on to become the largest in the whole country. Today is sold all around the country, all around the world.
He saw the chance to start China's wine industry and finally succeeded by grafting white plants from northeast China to plants from Europe. Later on, the name of Cabernet Garnished or 蛇龙珠 was given to this special type of red wine grape used in Changyu and now widely spread in China.
Changyu Wine Culture Museum. It must be the winemaking machine.
We all should drink a best more wine.
Best to do what he says, yeah.
In our museum trip, we got to try 4 different types of wine from different regions in China, from east to the west. Industrial wine production is no longer a business only in this city, but expanded to all over the country. In fact, China became the second largest country in vineyard area after Spain, as well as top 10 largest wine producer in the world.
Oh, this is the Yantai one.
Yantai one, the local one.
Yeah, no wonder it's so big. Yeah.
We felt excited to know the origin of all that is actually here, where we stand. What makes it even more exciting is that we know the story did not end here, and our trip continued.
Hidden castle, moving towards entrance. We're walking for like ages to find entrance. It's hard to imagine actually in a very city-like surroundings, and then you have a castle.
So after seeing the model form of the vineyard, we wanted to see the real thing. So we came here to the Changyu Vineyard, centre of the city.
Yeah, it's actually quite really surprising. Like we were looking around, there's just like a lot of apartment buildings and factories around. So we kind of find it surprised that there is actually a vineyard inside, and we don't know how it actually looks like. So
it looks like I'm wandering around the countryside of Germany.
Yeah, so we're going to go inside and see.
Alright, let's check it out.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really big. The first professional chateau.
Wow.
Oh,
So all the different types of grape.
Syrah, originally from Ukraine.
All different countries.
Looks fancy. So where is it originally from? Jingyou. This is Chinese grape.
Chateau is huge.
It is
Like everything in China is bigger.
Just bigger. I like this part. It's pretty cool because for a lot of Chinese, they don't really have a lot of knowledge towards grapes and wine, and it's actually a very, very good educational like course for them that they can tell. Now we can see this sign, the first professional chateau in China.
Really beautiful. And very peaceful today because no one's here.
That's the main building. Like when it's fully grown, it must be pretty cool.
When I went to Xinjiang in the west of China, they had these kind of setups, and you can walk through these. Obviously, it's beating sun down there. You know, it's like 40 degrees every day.
Yeah.
Obviously, in the desert, but the grapes are delicious and huge. And you walk down these aisles, and off the top of the these kind of bars, you've got these massive grapevines hanging down, like huge bunches of grapes. It looks really sumptuous. It's really beautiful, especially in the hot day sun. You can kind of go into these little courts, these like little alleyway things.
And they cool down.
Yeah, cool down. In the west, in Xinjiang, it's probably perhaps the biggest or second biggest.
Yeah,
at least,
I think
grape
the
producing
main
area in China.
Yeah, I think it is the main. Probably like they even produce like better grapes, but because Xinjiang is like a Muslim area, so the wine production is not there. Do you think?
Actually, I think it's mostly they have a lot of production. I think it's. But the Muslim has no relation, I feel, for this case. Because actually the Muslims in Xinjiang also drink alcohol. So They're not that strict. It's a bit like in Uzbekistan, in the Central Asia.
I get it.
So they can drink it.
I think this one is quite special, as they say, it's near the coastal line.
Yeah.
And the rest of the grape production in China is all inside, like inland.
Yeah.
More in the central of the Eurasian. So we're going to test out our wine. It's already prepared. We can see that. And
Prepared especially for us, it seems.
feels very VIP.
垫底儿，一会儿您用这个纸上品酒，
Oh,
然后这8款酒您可以选6款，每个人都可以选。
oh, so we can choose 6 from these 8 different types. 这个有点可爱。
Yeah.
然后 it's also kind of like a souvenir. Should we start? Okay, let's see what we have here. We have Riesling. We have I feel like this one. I think this is sweet. Chardonnay, Cabernet, and this is Cabernet. So we'll start this one from the grape of Yantai.
Yeah. The pearl of the snake dragon.
When Zhang Bishi found Changyu Winery, he probably would not imagine that one day China would have become one of the fastest growing markets for wine. In 2018, the Chinese population consumed approximately 1.76 billion liters of wine, making China the 5th leading wine consumer worldwide. This trend attracts more and more foreign companies to export wine to China, and it also leads to a new chapter for Changyu. Now, you can find Changyu's chateau not only here in Yantai, but also overseas. It brings us back to the thoughts of Yantai's dream, about selling out and connecting to the world we have talked about along our journey. This might be another piece of puzzles to find out how Yantai's like, especially in the modern time.
I think the conclusion is that the Yantai local one is really good. Shoujonju is really good.
This one.
The conclusion is that Chinese wine is very good, very recommended. Lots of different types, great tastes, and the production quality is very high and the quantity is large.
Even I, as a Chinese, I don't actually know that we produce so many wines. We don't really drink Chinese wine.
Yeah,
I
guess because the population is so big that actually overall they drink a lot of wine, but actually the individual does not drink so much. But I have read a study though that they say within a couple of decades China will have the highest amount of alcohol content drinkage throughout the world, because it actually is on decline in the Western countries, which were before up at the top.
In the end of the trip, we want to make a toast with this special gift from Yantai. We would also like to share our thoughts on how we feel about the city. Maybe one day you'll find it interesting to visit too. The wine with our face on it. It sounds a bit scary.
Does sound quite creepy. Wait, you're drinking from the bottle? What are you...
No, I'm going to ask, how do you feel about the trip?
You know, like, so my first impression, the first thought I had when I arrived, obviously we came out of the airport and it was quite sunny and there's a lot of greenery around. And we could see some vineyards and we could see some apple trees and we could see a lot of sign of nature and rolling hills. And I thought, first kind of thought was, wow, this is obviously very different geography from Beijing. And then when I first arrived at the hotel and saw the sea, I was like, yeah, this is a really high quality.
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Really high quality beach, yeah. And then once we explored like the town of Yantai itself, I was kind of attracted to it straight away because I'm obviously quite like the history of many things. So I actually felt that it had a lot of charm to it and a lot of character, and there's lots to discover in the town itself. So that was something I really liked and I was really drawn to. And I like the city a lot actually. Good time.